For more on this, we spoke to Gabriel Sassoon, the foreign media advisor to Israel's deputy speaker. He spoke to ABC News 24 earlier from Tel Aviv via webcam.
I think there's a two-pronged solution that's necessary. A diplomatic solution on the one hand, and the Labour opposition leader has said that he would immediately go to Ramallah and speak with President Abbas, who everyone has said is a moderate and a serious man of peace. On the other hand, as the leader of the Labour opposition here also said, he would hit Hamas hard. And I think the problem with proportionality, Jeremy, that you've brought up is a false one, because Hamas is deliberately targeting rockets at cities, which is one of the highest war crimes, and they're targeting Israeli civilians. The Israeli army, from my point of view, is targeting. I mean, everyone admits, every commentator knows that they're targeting Hamas terrorists, and the Hamas terrorists have openly called for the use of civilians as human shields.
How useful is that talk of targeting when there are so many civilians ending up in Palestinian hospitals?
Well, I think that, look, I have no interest in, doing PR for the government here, but the way, from my perspective, that you can only blame one party for that. That's Hamas. They started this war. They're firing rockets. On a daily basis, there's 200 rockets. If Australians were receiving, Sydney and Melbourne were being hit by 200 rockets on a daily basis, Australians would demand some sort of response as well. It's a tragedy when there's civilian deaths, but the only party that can be blamed for that is Hamas, which strategically uses civilians as human shields. And they know that the media will always ask this question of, is that proportionate? 100 Palestinians dead and, no Israelis dead, or only 1 or 2 Israelis dead? Well, Israel's defenses are very good. That's a great thing. The question is, how many Israelis have to die before the media says, well, that's a proportionate response, fair enough. You should attack, you can do whatever you want.
Well, how many Palestinians have to die before the proportional response is deemed adequate on the Israeli side?
I think that I don't think that's the question. I think the question is, when is Hamas going to stop attacking Israeli civilians? 5 million, which is more than half the population, have been going to bomb shelters. Yesterday morning and about 3 hours ago, I had to run to a bomb shelter twice within 5 minutes of each other. Like 5 million out of only a population of 8 million. I mean, try and put that in Australian context. I grew up in Australia. I lived there for 26 years or 28 years of my 34. I can't possibly imagine us living like that. So I do agree with you. The casualties must stop on both sides. A ceasefire has to be reached. The Egyptians need to be brought in to mediate a ceasefire, and they've been missing in action because there's no love lost between the Egyptians and Hamas, who they view as the Palestinian arm of the Muslim Brotherhood, and they would like nothing more than to see further pounding of Hamas.
And that was Gabriel Sassoon speaking to Jeremy Fernandez earlier on ABC Breakfast.